Welcome to Xtreme 4x4 and part 2 of our Banks Sidewinder All Terrain buildup.
Now, if you remember, this 2005 Dodge Cummins Turbo Diesel is not your everyday mall cruiser. This is the prototype that competed in the Baja 1000, took third place, and then drove home.
Now, we started last week by installing a Banks billet torque converter, a complete big Haas power system that includes a new intercooler with turbo ducting, a new high ram. On the exhaust side, we put on a new exhaust manifold, and underneath that, buried at the bottom, is a new variable geometry turbo, and to feed that turbo is a Banks ram air box.
And then we finished up with wiring the shapeshifter turbo controller and the 6-gun tuner, and we added this massive 4-inch dual exhaust complete system. Go ahead, Ian. And with all this power, we're going to get about 500 horse and 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. But this truck is nowhere near being Baja yet. We're still going to address the suspension, wheels and tires, and then we got this cool little PDA that we're going to talk about.
Now, this truck has already undergone some serious modifications in order to be called a Sidewinder All Terrain. Banks takes the stock fender well opening and stretches it all the way back to the door in order to fit in that 35-inch tire we're going to show you later. They also have these fender flares custom made for this application. Now, you're going to be able to order these trucks turnkey from Gale Banks Engineering.
With the Jeep on the trailer and hooked to the Sidewinder, we headed out to the desert. Or at least the closest thing we could find that would work this truck's suspension.
The Dodge towed like a dream, and between 45 to 65 miles per hour, not only did it not feel like a trailer was on the back of this thing, it would throw you back in the seat when you dropped the gas.
Remember that cool little power PDA included in the Big Haas bundle we talked about to control the turbo? This little Palm Pilot has been loaded with the Banks Tuner software, and you can control the power level, as well as 0 to 60 times, quarter-mile tests, and you can monitor things like exhaust gas temp, boost level, and it works as a diagnostic tool. Plus, this thing still functions as a normal Palm Pilot.
We got to the trails and found a big open field that offered us the ability to test this truck's suspension at high speeds over uneven terrain. The coarse suspension allowed the truck to tear across this field at speeds in excess of 70 miles per hour while still allowing us total control.
Now you gotta remember, this truck is worth about 65 grand, so we'd be fools to take it out and just beat the crap out of it. You wouldn't do that if it were yours. But to be able to use this truck still as a daily driver and a tow rig, and then have some fun with it ripping around, is what makes this truck worth every penny.
When you drop the front end of this truck off a good obstacle, you can really see that suspension droop we talked about before, and the Banks power had this truck tearing through the dirt like no other.
You know what I really like about this Sidewinder? It's got the power when it needs it, it handles when it needs it. This thing's awesome.
That's right, this thing isn't a mud bogger, it's not a hill climber, and it's not a rock crawler. It's meant to go fast over serious terrain, and it does that with ease.
My turn.
Okay.